Hello and welcome to the Bike India channel. I'm Azman and you join us today at Jerez for the first ride review of the Street Triple RS. Let's start off with the design of this motorcycle. So as you can see, they've updated the styling to be sharper and more sleeker. So you get these new panels here, you get this belly pan over here, you get a sharper rear end, and obviously you get the bug eyes which have been iconic on the Street Triple for all these years.
The fuel tank is sculpted more like a sport bike where it is higher and tapers down towards the front. It has a capacity of 15 litres, making the tank 2.4 litres smaller than the previous generation model. There is a sleek panel on top of the headlight setup compared to the previous gen model that sported a tiny windscreen. The RS gets an underbelly cowl which can be fitted as an accessory on the R model. In terms of looks, this is one desirable motorcycle, especially in this carnival red paint scheme.
Now in terms of ergonomics, this is an extremely comfortable motorcycle. As you can see, I'm around 5'7" and I'm pretty comfortable on it. What they have done to this model is that the bars are now 12 mm wider, which gives you more leverage. Personally, I have always been a fan of naked motorcycles and I really just loved belting this around the track today.
The RS gets a sharper 23.2 degree rake and 96.9 mm trail. On the other hand, the R gets a 23.7 degree rake and 97.8 mm trail. With this, the R has a wheelbase of 1402 mm, while the wheelbase on the RS stands at 1399 mm, making it shorter than the previous generation model. Riding both models back to back on the road, the ergonomic difference is very minor, where the RS obviously feels slightly more committed. The bike has a curb weight of 189 kg but feels extremely light once it is on the go. The RS gets the 5.5-inch TFT instrument cluster, while the R gets the unit that we see on the Trident and the Tiger Sport 660. It is easy to navigate through the settings and the ride modes with the switch gear, and there are also different layouts to choose from on the RS model.
Now the main update to the Street Triple RS is the engine. They've changed a lot of the internals and now this one here puts out 130 horsepower at 12,000 RPM and a peak torque of 80 Nm at 9,500 RPM.
The R model in comparison puts out 120 horsepower at 11,500 RPM and a peak torque of 80 Nm at 9,500 RPM. Some of the main changes in the upgraded motor include a higher compression ratio, new pistons, new valves and camshafts, new combustion chamber, increased cylinder pressure limits, and more. A single catalytic converter and a freer flowing exhaust help the updated engine breathe better and produce an even better exhaust note. The gearing ratios have also been retuned, where the first gear is tall and the second to sixth gears get closer ratios. With all of these changes, the bike was a hoot to ride on the track. Blasting around Jerez Circuit was such a surreal experience as the bike is so confidence-inspiring and the sharp and flickable nature allowed it to flow naturally through the crazy corners of this iconic circuit. The bike accelerates harder and you have more power and torque coming in at 7,500 RPM, making the engine very responsive and rev happy on the track. With each passing session, I was able to push harder and it was just so enjoyable to quick shift through the gearbox on the straights, while the inline triple motor complements the entire experience with that spine-shivering exhaust note. There are 5 riding modes: rain, road, sport, track and rider, which can be set up accordingly. The new electronics package includes cornering ABS and cornering traction control. The track mode limits ABS and TC intervention to a minimum, which provided me with great control through each of the passing sessions. On the back straight, I hit around 205 km/h before I had to get on the brakes and swoop through the Dani Pedrosa corner. When you hit over 200 km/h on a naked bike, the wind blast is literally trying to take you in the other direction. Not complaining, as this is literally one of the most exciting parts about any naked street fighter. With well-paved roads throughout our ride, we mainly switch between road and sport mode. The R is more than adequate for a road bike, and I was easily able to maintain an average speed of 140 km an hour as we covered distances so effortlessly. The motor is also extremely smooth and very tractable. It could easily handle speeds of around 50 km an hour in 6th gear, after which I could get on the gas and pull away easily. It's just amazing how usable this engine is, be it on the track or on the road.
Now in terms of suspension, what you get here is the Showa big piston forks at the front, and at the rear you get a Öhlins STX40 shock.
The suspension setup worked perfectly for me on track as well as on the road. Considering that we were mostly riding on well-paved surfaces, you will have to wait for a road test so we can tell you how it fares in Indian conditions.
In terms of braking equipment, this gets Brembo Stylema calipers, which are top of the line at the front. At the rear you get a single piston Brembo sliding caliper.
The feel and feedback of the brakes are extremely sharp. The bike stays completely stable even when you get on the brakes a little too hard. For the street, the setup on the R works extremely well to shed speed and get to a halt when necessary. The R uses Continental Conti Road tires, which are good for the streets, and then you have the RS, which gets the superb Pirelli Supercorsa V3 tires. On the track, they allow you to push really hard and lean further, which ultimately gives the rider more confidence. With these tires, I was able to whack open the throttle earlier and power out of corners, and had no slippery moments throughout the 3 sessions that we had on track.
Now, this has been one of the greatest days of my life because I've got to ride at a MotoGP circuit for the very first time and astride this motorcycle. It was a fantastic experience because this motorcycle is just so friendly, so usable and so much fun. So we had 3 sessions today, and throughout each of the sessions, I improved further and further, which just goes to show how great a track bike this is.
With great levels of performance, comfort and agility, the bike has a great do-it-all character. To make things even crazier, there is a Moto 2 edition of the motorcycle that gets clip-on handlebars and golden Öhlins front forks. This edition was built in limited numbers, 765 models each of 2 special color schemes which have already been sold out.
We've spent today, which is the second day of our ride experience in Spain, and we've got to ride the Street Triple RS as well as the R on road today. Now, I enjoyed the experience riding this on track, and today on the road was equally fun. Now, what I rode first was the R, and the second part of the day was spent riding the RS. Now, obviously, I've explained to you all of the changes in both of the models, but all I want to say at the end of this experience is, wow, what a motorcycle this is. It's just amazing how it responds to everything. The engine is so smooth, so tractable, and it's just so responsive. So you have a lot of fun riding this motorcycle wherever you want. Now, prices for this motorcycle will be announced soon in the Indian market, and as soon as they're out, we shall let you know all about them. Until then, like, subscribe and follow the Bike India channel for more content like this.